today is the third day of my series of ranking every single card in Clash Royale. Since it's been a while, I'm going to rank every single epic and legendary card today. F tier's cards that probably need a rework have an evolution, so they probably don't need anything or just suck overall. And S tier are cards that I think that probably need a nerf. The reason why I put some of the cycle cards in A tier in the last two videos is because they are probably not going to be nerfed and they have evolutions already, so they probably will have their evolutions in S tier. First card, we got the Mirror, F tier. Very easy to say, but it's one more elixir than to mirror any card besides champions or evolutions. That also gives it less viability. It's very hard to work with. I feel like there's not really much you can do to fix it. Same elixir cost, same card might be a way to fix it as a rework. As Supercell has been opening up for reworks, that would be the way I would go with the card. Next is the Wall Breakers. Without the evolution, probably B tier. Yeah, B tier. Because, like, they're fast. You can have them, like, in, more recent Logbait has the Wall Breakers, and it's really just a good, cheap win condition. It works well. It's like the Hog Rider. Very easily countered by buildings, but since it's cheaper, the building is more of a commitment against the Wall Breakers. Goblin Curse, it has potential, but I'm going to put it in the D tier because it just needs another spell to really work, or just needs light troops like the Skarmy, which aren't really that important in the meta. I think it has potential. They just need to buff it a little bit more, and that would be a more balanced card. Barbarian Barrel, going to put it in B tier. Works very well in beatdown decks to what I know. It's not really a cycle card, but it does give a lot of value, like the log. It does have that, it's basically the log of beatdown decks to what I've heard. It doesn't really need any nerfs, it's just a barbarian and a shorter log radius. So that's all I really know about the card. Rage, A tier spell. Overall, since it just does certain... Actually, I'm going to put it down to B tier. It's like the Barbarian Barrel. It's good. It's a cheap card. It works in certain decks, but both spells aren't really game-breaking overall. Without any evolutions of either of these spells, they aren't really that good like the Snowball. They just work in certain decks, and they work really well in those certain decks. Clone, F tier. Just like the Mirror, it's not really balanceable. I think that's how you would say it, but both cards really just have a hard time fitting in the meta. Lava Clone, I think Lava Hound Clone was a meta deck, but it just doesn't really work because of every single spell in the meta. If Clone was in the meta, Goblin Curse would be in the meta, you know. It's just a very hard card to work around, so both of these cards straight at the top of F tier, or really the bottom of F tier, but I'm using that as a thumbnail, of course. Void, also going to sadly put in the F tier. Ever since they really nerfed it to the single troop damage, it's not really that good. They kind of ruined the purpose of the card that it originally intended to be. So it really being in the 3 elixir spell category doesn't really stand it out compared to like Arrows or Tornado, or its special ability isn't really there. And Skarmy is also going in the F tier. It's like the 3 Musketeers. It really just loses so much value because there's so many troops in one area. You get a Goblin Curse even if Goblin Curse isn't really that good, it full counters Skarmy, just like the Witch. But the Skarmy just sucks. Most splash troops, even your tower really, with any other regular troop, you can basically counter it with almost every card in the game besides like a Lava Hound cannot probably counter a Skarmy. That's really the only card I can think that cannot counter the Skarmy. It's just that bad. Goblin Barrel, we're going to put in B tier. Without the evolution, it's pretty decent. It works in bait decks. It's really known for the evolution, but it just can get consistent damage. But the log is always in the meta. So really, Goblin Barrel isn't bad. It's just a little bit better with the evolution because it gives split lane pressure. But without the evolution, it's just decent. Works really well in the decks that it prioritizes itself, and it has outplay potential, like tricky barrels, put it behind the king tap, put it behind triples, whatever. Troll decks with Goblin Barrel is funny sometimes to watch. Is Goblin Barrel mirror clone behind the King Tower. That's not really meta, but that would be funny to watch. Guards, they did get a nerf, but I'm going to put them right next to the... I feel like a little bit more, like... Go and put them down, because they did get a nerf. They did get a nerf in the last set of balance changes. But it's like, giving a nerf to the guards makes it so the Goblin Gang has a little bit more to it, you know? Like, the guards are very good right now just to counter Boss Bandit or really any of those. I'm trying to think. Boss Bandit counters P.E.K.K.A, but P.E.K.K.A's not really in the meta. It's really a good card for its value, and it survives arrows, it survives the spells. It's just a lot. It's very good in the meta, but the thing is, we have it right below the Goblin Gang, because the Goblin Gang has 3 more troops. It can do air damage. It can just do a lot more. So really, overall, the guards are almost S tier, but I don't think that they already got a nerf. So we just have to see how it does, and I think they probably need a nerf like Boss Bandit to make it a little bit more healthy. Tornado did get a nerf, but I'm going to put in B tier. It's like one of the Rage Barbarian Barrel Snowball. It doesn't have an evolution. It does not kill Spear Goblins anymore. It only kills Skeletons. So overall, I think the Tornado is actually in a healthy space in Clash Royale. It's not as versatile as it used to be, but I'm glad that it's in a more healthy state. I don't think they needed the nerf of Tornado, but I'm glad that they are focusing on not keeping every single card overpowered that's a spell. So that's nice. You have the Goblin Drill. Without the evolution, it's actually probably better without the evolution. The Goblin Drill is in C tier. Decent card. It works in the Goblin Drill decks. It's a decent win condition, but it isn't really that popular in the meta. You have all the beatdown decks that can probably take the drill down, or really just ignore the drill. The drill isn't really... It's hard to have it connect to the tower sometimes, but with like that Little Prince deck, I think it can be very easily cycled to outcycle the counters to it. Baby Dragon D tier. It did get a splash buff a couple months ago, but it's just not really that good. It is 4 elixir, but it still doesn't hit that many troops. It is in the air, but it doesn't have that much HP. So really, overall, I haven't really been seeing it that much. Where I play in like I play in Path of Legends. I don't see it that much. It is competitive, so I don't see it that much. I feel like they can give it a buff to its HP to be more like respectable air troop, but that will take away part of the Phoenix, so you gotta just like give it something else to make it more special, as it's not really that healthy in the meta right now. Dark Prince. B tier works really well with double Prince decks. It works well in Goblin Giant, I think, in regular Giant Prince. Overall, it's a healthy card right now. It does get unhealthy or very strong sometimes, but overall, it's a decent card right now. I don't think it needs a buff or a nerf. It's just one of the cards that fits its role in its decks. It doesn't need evolution right now. I just feel like it's in a healthy spot. Ruin Giant F tier. They nerfed this card to the ground. Like, they nerfed it to the ground, okay? I'm telling you, they removed it so it only does 5 seconds of the effect to the actual card. So it literally makes it trash. Overall, it doesn't really help because barely any cards synergize it with it besides the Berserker, which is also like an F tier card. Like, it just sucks overall. It needs to just like get back something because it lost so much. So it's not really that good of a win condition. It's not really used anywhere like the other cards in F tier that are epics. And I think they might have to rework it again. It just depends. Poison. not really dominant. It's a decent spell. It's like Rocket, it's like Earthquake. It works in minor poison, which is probably one of the main decks of poison right now. It's not meta defining like in 2016 when it was with the zap in every single deck. I think it is a healthy space. It's just that we probably just need to wait. You know, spells are very reactive to the meta right now. It's a decent spell in my eyes. I don't really see it that much. I don't oversee it. It's not every single game, so I don't think it's in an area where it needs to be balanced. Hunter without the evolution is in D tier. Wait, yeah, I'm putting it in D tier, top of D tier, because it only works in Royal Giant decks. Like, literally only works in Royal Giant decks. And the same thing with the evolution, but the evolution is a lot better. It fixes one of the flaws with the Hunter, but overall the Hunter without the evolution, it is good, but it's not versatile at all. Same with like the Mini P.E.K.K.A in D tier or the Rascals. Rascals only work in bait. Mini P.E.K.K.A is a very clunky support card, and Hunter is also a very clunky support card. Freeze, F tier. I can't say much about that because it's really not viable in like Lumberland Freeze or just any beatdown deck. It's really it's a risky spell to play because it's just very hard to fit in, and it costs so much elixir. For 4 elixir they can get a huge counter push in return. In Executioner, I'm putting in C tier. It's a clunky support troop, being at 5 elixir as the troops get higher. But I think Executioner can work if you really push it to its limits. But with the evolution, like that's like the reason why some of these clunky cards have evolutions was probably to make them more healthy. But overall, that makes it so that the regular cards are just seen as the clunky states that they are. So obviously C tier, D tier will work with the Executioner, and I think that would go with both the Witch and the Electro Dragon, as they are both very clunky cards. They don't really work well. They both cost 5 elixir. Without the evolutions to both of them, they're not really that good. It's very polarizing when you buff them. Either it's very meta defining or it doesn't really do that much. It's really just down in D, C, or an F tier. Like the Wizard in F tier, the Witch in D tier. It did get a buff to his splash radius, but overall I think it didn't really help the card without the evolution. Next, I got the Prince. It's probably going to go in S tier. It's been meta defining very recently. That was the card I was thinking the guards very easily counter, but with the Prince in the meta all the time with the Boss Bandit too, it's been making the guards the Goblin Gang so strong in the meta as counters to those cards. Cannon Cart, D tier. They reworked the card, so the Cannon Cart isn't really that good anymore right now. The Cannon Cart is another one of those clunky 5 elixir cards. If it's like you can see it, Executioner, Electro Dragon, Witch, Cannon Cart, Prince. You can see it's very clunky to have a 5 elixir card right here. All of them are like very broken or very bad. And you can see that with other 5 elixir cards. The Wizard. I'm saying this over and over. Like the Goblin Hut before the rework was even very bad. But after the rework, it's probably because it's a spawner. You can see even the Rascals are down here. You got all these 5 elixir cards. They're not that good. Bowler, though, Bowler does do its job. I'm putting it in B tier. It works in Graveyard, obviously. It's not a win condition, but it did counter the Little Prince a long time ago, back when Little Prince was meta in like 2023 to 2024, December to January. That did like shoot up the brawler very high, but overall it's very useful in decks. It does a lot of since the rock just like goes all the way down, it really helps it like stabilize itself as a ground troop that deals damage to ground troops, even though it can't do anything against like minions, right? Minions full counters it, I think, but overall it's very good right now. Goblin Giant without evolution, C tier. It's just a decent win condition. I can't say much else about it. It's just it did build its own like deck technically, because Goblin Giant decks had the Sparky, it had the Rage, it had the Mate P.E.K.K.A, but all those cards weren't really that healthy beforehand. So I'm glad the Goblin Giant kind of like reworked the meta to have like more cards viable. Then the Balloon. Balloon is going to be an A tier, very good win condition. It's in its own cycle deck. It works with Lumber Balloon. It works with Minor Balloon. Sometimes, like Minor Balloon cycle, Lumber Balloon. You have sometimes even Giant Balloon if it depends on the meta. But Balloon is just always very good. I think they can just use a little bit of a damage nerf to it if they really wanted to. Balloon's just hard to connect to the tower though, so it's really good in the meta. It's always really in the meta, so there's not really anything that you can do to nerf it because it's counterable, like the Hog Rider in B tier, but the Balloon's in A tier because it's way more formidable, like the Hogs, like the Giant as win conditions. Giant Skeleton, I feel like it has a lot of potential. I really love the card. It's literally my profile picture, but overall it is a D tier card. It's very clunky. I get it. But I use it. I want it to be in C tier. I want it to be in S tier. But no, it's a D tier card. I know that. I know that sadly. I know that sincerely. But I feel like they could just give it an evolution, or please just don't rework it like the cannon card. Please. I just want you to buff it. It has so much potential, so just don't ruin the card over for me, Supercell, please. Lightning's been just getting better and better with every meta, so I'm putting it in A tier as a spell. It counters Hunter, it counters Witch, it just counters like these cards that are like getting in the meta with evolutions. It's just been getting a lot more popular in beatdown decks, so overall, it doesn't really need a nerf, but they just need to like give away to like just give other spells viability over it. It is not like at the rate of Log, but it is very high in the meta right now. I feel like it just spells fluctuate, right? So the Lightning is doing good right now, but that's only because other cards in the meta. Expo's actually doing very good right now. It did get top finish, so I'm putting it in B tier. The deck's doing very good right now. It's a formidable win condition. You got a secret 6% damage buff. Overall, I think it's a good win condition. It is counterable. It is good, but it is a defensive play style for most people, against most people. So it is it can be a bad card for the game. It's in a healthy state right now, so I'm not really mad with that. P.E.K.K.A's in D tier with Giant Skeleton. It's really countered easily ever since they gave that range nerf. I feel like with the Evo P.E.K.K.A's buff, I think it could be used a little bit more in P.E.K.K.A Bridge Spam, but overall it's not really doing that good right now. It can counter the Boss Bandit, but it just doesn't have that much leeway after the range got nerfed. So overall, I think they should just give it like a couple more buffs, or just give a little bit more to the evolution, and then it would be more of a healthy card. Electro Giant, it's actually been on the rise. I'm putting it in C tier. Ever since the Golden Knight rework, they've been reworking a lot of cards and giving cards that were in Electro Giant's deck like buffs. So overall, I think it is viable. It's like Goblin Giant. It's not really meta defining, but you can use these decks. Like Tornado has been nerfed, but I think that was good because Tornado with Electro Giant was very toxic, so it does really give the Electro Giant decks not that much power. So same with Goblin Giant, the Rune Giant got nerfed, so Goblin Giant decks aren't really that powerful. So both cards are in C tier, and they're not really that bad, and they're not really that good. Golem Beatdown, not really in the best state, not in the worst state. I'm going to put it next to the other two giants that I've been talking about. It works. It works. The Evo Lumberjack works with it. It's just not really bad, you know. I keep saying overall. I keep saying overall again and again. But Golem isn't bad. It isn't bad. Going on to the legendaries now, the Log is going to go Log in S tier. how you fix the log when it is so popular. What I say, either make it slower, but that might not work, or make it so the log feel like the log could just do a range like nerf, so like it rolls like shorter, which might be very helpful to make it more balanced, but it is used in basically every single cycle deck. I see it like a third of every game, but that's really the stat. It's like in 30% of all top decks in the top 200. It's always like one of the best spells. They did give the arrows a radius nerf, so they should give probably a range nerf per se. So that's what I think they should do to log. The Prince charge nerf, just make it so it's like 2 tiles instead of 1.5. Goblin Gang, I don't know what they should do with the Goblin Gang in S tier. Princess, it did get a rework. It is in bait decks, but C tier will work with it because like it works in bait, but it's not really that oppressive anymore. It did get a rework, so where it takes longer, so you can get a spell deployed on it. It doesn't really hit your tower. Same with the Goblin Barrel, but both cards are really decent right now. They are not oppressive. The Princess doesn't have an evolution, so it doesn't really change its spot. It's just fine in bait decks. Bandit is also in C tier. Ever since the boss bandit, the bandit has been like seen less, I think. But that's probably because the boss bandit's just so broken you don't think about the bandit. But I don't think there's any double bandit decks. I don't think, but there might be. But overall, when I say bandit, I think a boss bandit. But the regular bandit, not bad. Not bad at all. It works in bridge spam decks. It's just been overplaced by the boss bandit in some decks. Royal Ghost. B tier because Royal Ghost is 3 elixir. It works in Royal Giant Cycle. Works in bridge spam. Works in a couple meta areas. Works in couple architects. So it's not that bad. It is on the better range, so it's in B tier. So that's all I can say about it. Fisherman also going in B tier because it's a very good support card to RG, but that's all you really see it in. It's like Fisherman, RG, and Hunter, but it's really the Evo Hunter. So like you see those 3 in the deck. It's not really bad. It works very well. It has good synergy. Ghost can clear the path in front of the RG, and then the Fisherman can pull P.E.K.K.A.s back for the Hunter to shoot. It's like it works very well. It's very hard to counter when you have like no building in your cycle. Ice Wizard, I'm putting in A tier because it's very formidable defense. Like it works very well. Graveyard, I think, is a deck, but it's also not been paired with the Tornado as much anymore. Tornado used to be with Ice Wizard because Ice Wizard needed really the Tornado to slow all the troops down. But ever since it got I think it's a splash buff to its the amount of things that it can splash, it's been used without the Tornado, so it shows that it's very formidable. Force, they might need a little nerf, but it's fine overall. It's it dies to Fireball. Same with the Mother Witch, but Mother Witch D tier, it's really just one of those clunky cards, It may be balanced in some metas, some decks, but I don't see it that much. It dies with Fireball, but Fireball bait isn't that good right now, so it's not good, but it can work in certain decks, just like the other clunky cards in D tier. That's all I can say. D tier's clunky. C tier's not really that bad. B tier's not really that good. A tier's really that good. And S tier, nerf. Minor. A tier, it literally can't get out of the top 3. It can't get out of the top 3 tiers. It's formidable. It's in Minor Cycle. It's in Balloon Cycle. It's in whatever you want, really. You could shove a Minor in there. It's a good support troop. It's a good defensive troop. It's a good cycle troop. I don't think it works in Beatdown. That's all it doesn't really work in. But it's really formidable. Okay, it's a good legendary. It doesn't really have any competition. So really, there's not really much you can do to nerf the Minor. There's been reworks people have said. on the idea of not making it so you can't place it on your side of the arena. I think that might be a good idea for the card because it can also remove like one of the strategies of being defensive like a knight, you know. Phoenix, it's going in C tier. Not really that bad, not really that good. The Mega Minion has actually been increasing in popularity in giant decks, so overall the Phoenix really only works in a couple of beatdown decks. Worked in Electro Giant. That's one of the cards I was thinking of. Phoenix isn't really bad, but isn't overpowered anymore. So the Mega Minion and the Phoenix can actually like work in the meta together now, instead of just being one overpowered and the other underpowered, or vice versa. So I think both cards are in a healthy spot, as both of them are competitors in the meta. Night Witch, I don't see it that much, but I think it's a C tier card because I'm not in the top meta. Like, I'm not a top 10,000 player in the game, obviously. But I think it works in beatdown decks. I just haven't seen it that much. It's a decent support troop, but also helps in those. As a support troop, it spawns bats. It really just helps in those decks. I Drag goes in B tier. Very good support card. Doesn't really change the meta that much, but it takes down tanks. It's like a moving Inferno Tower, as you can say. Not really bad, not really good. Electro Wizard, C tier. I'm just like going in cycles, but C tier, not bad, not good. Lumberjack, without the evolution, I'm going to put it in C tier. I've seen the evolution in Golem decks, and I've seen it with Lumber Loon, but overall, you don't really see it that much in the unevolved form. Really, you're just cycling to that evolved form for the Lumberjack. Magic Archer works really well in those minor cycle decks. I see it in C tier because it is killable to Fireball. Fireball is one of those consistent cards that are in the meta, so really you do have Fireball does get countered in those Magic Archer decks, but it is a very good defense. It can easily be let's get back up to the Magic Archer. Very easily can just get lineups, chip your tower down, you know, chip our opponent's towers down. It's very good. Can do a lot of damage. You just need to use the potential, you know, of the card. Ram Rider. I think there's been bridge spam decks with the Ram Rider, but I'm going to put in B tier because it does a lot of damage. It did get a nerf, so it isn't that formidable, but it's not really bad. So overall, I'm going to just say B tier. Goblin Machine. Surprisingly, it's not an F tier. It's not in D tier. It's in C tier. It's been working in those E-Golem decks, you know? I've been surprised that it's been more healthy than its other two Goblin cards that have been introduced into the meta. Back in July last year, I think. I'm just surprised it's very healthy. I'm glad about that, but it's weird because I thought the spell would be more healthy, you know? Graveyard, always in the meta, really. And ever since the Witch Evolution, it's probably going to be a very good card like Miner. So Graveyard, Giant Graveyard, very good. A tier. Both of those win conditions are in A tier. Almost to the end of this ranking, we got Sparky in D tier. Only really works in those Goblin Giant decks, but you don't really see the Goblin Giant as much anymore. It's not really formidable, so Sparky isn't really in the meta as much. It is countered by Rocket, but Rocket isn't that powerful in the meta. Lava Hound is going in C tier. There has been Royal Chef with Lava Hound, but Lava Hound hasn't really been that broken. It did get a nerf, but it isn't really bad. It can hard counter some decks that don't have that much ground defense. Lava Hound, Elite Barbarians can probably maybe sometimes win against that bridge spam deck with the Boss Bandit. Just depends. And last card for today, the Mega Knight. Of course, we gotta put in S tier, non-king. Going around the C tier off with even list, you know. Mega Knight, not really bad. Not really good, as I said for most of the other cards, but the evolution doesn't really make it that better. I would probably like, I'm not going to say what I would put the evolution in, but overall the Mega Knight just costs a lot of elixir. It is very formidable in mid ladder, but that's all you can really say. So tomorrow I'm probably going to rank I'm just going to rank the rest of this stuff, you know. I'm going to put the champions, the tower troops, and the evolutions. So if you want to see that, please subscribe, and you'll see what cards I'm putting in S tier that probably need nerfs.